Hey, welcome back to Life to Wild Ride. Today I got a special video for you. It's going to be a little spillover from our other channel, Shane's Main Shop, because I'm going to be building something. But the reason why it's on this channel is because it's, as we go through life, people come and go, come in our lives, go out of our lives. They play different roles in our lives. And I'm making a cutting board for someone who plays a significant role in our life, but only for a very small portion of the year. But it means a lot to Tracy and I. What we're doing is we're going to be making a cutting board, and the first thing I did is I just got some stuff gathered up here, and I've identified a piece that I really like. It's a pretty piece of bird's eye maple here. And this is scrap wood stuff left over from other projects. This is going to be kind of like hopefully an eye-catching piece with maybe some redwood on each side of it. This really is not a how-to or a build channel. It's just about life. And anybody that's been around this channel knows of a lot of stuff that's happened in my life for the past several years. And when you go on vacation, you want to get away from all that, get a break. Occasionally, you run across people that play a big role in helping you forget about your regular daily life and make sure you have a good time. And that's what this person does. But if you like this kind of stuff, you can swing over to my other channel, Shane's Main Shop. I do this kind of stuff, handyman stuff all the time, but not so much on this channel. All right, let's get the saw set up and get some of this stuff ripped down. What I'm going to do is just keep working this pattern until I have something I like, and then we'll turn it back. I got pretty much, I think, the pattern that I like, and it's a pretty good size. And of course, it's too long at this end. We're just going to glue it up, and then we'll just cut all this off. We won't waste glue up in this area. Now, I did take a second to cut them all off, and unless, I cut it a little bit past my shortest one, so I'm going to trim this all up afterwards anyways. Also, too, you might see these pencil marks on here. I did that before I moved it at all, so now when I put it back together, I have some sort of guide as to what order they go in, and I don't have to worry about trying to rethink the pattern I have. So now all I do is lay them all down flat, put glue on all this surface, stand them back up, and then we'll reclamp it. I'll do that in time lapse so it doesn't bore you. Almost done clamping. This is Titebond 3 glue. It's food safe, and it sets up pretty quickly. You don't want to over tighten it, because you don't want to squeeze all the glue out, but you want it snug and make sure there's no gaps. Now we're going to let this set, and then we'll clean the glue all up. This is definitely glued up enough now and dried, so we're going to go ahead and remove the clamps. So I got a lot of the glue scraped off, and now I'm actually doing some sanding to it. Okay, as you saw, I just ran it through the planer, both sides. And now I'm going to get back to sanding. Basically, I just tried to sand off more of the glue to save on the blades of the planer. What I'm going to do now is just square off the ends. Remember, I left it a little bit long with all the little jagged edges here. Just a quick recap of why I'm doing this. I mean, I've made several cutting boards for myself, for friends, whatever, this and that. But, this particular case, it's really just to say thank you, to this person who I'll probably name at the end of the video, that really makes a difference for Tracy and I when we're on vacation. As I said earlier, if you've been around this channel any length of time, some of the stuff that has happened in our life. One, right now I'm actually here caring for my mom, and luckily we have monitors throughout the house, so I'm allowed to be, not allowed, but it allows me to be able to be down here in this workshop and still keep an eye on mom. With the monitors, sound, and call buttons if she needs us. So that's one of the things we've dealt with. So when we go on vacation, we want to forget about that stuff. We want to forget about the stuff you normally deal with in everyday life. And where we go, Tracy and I are able to do that anyways. We always have a good time. We really take that time to say, okay, this is for us, so we can get a break and get away. But it's nice when you run across somebody that for them it's their everyday job to make sure people are having a good time, and this particular person goes above and beyond, and we super duper appreciate it. So if you have someone in your life that you don't always think about the stuff, and you're thinking about what they've done for you, make sure you take a minute to say thank you. You don't have to do this. I could just say thank you, and I think I have. But, this is just a little extra. It doesn't take that much time to show this person how much we appreciate them helping us have a great time on vacation. Okay, so that's the first cut. I'm going to raise that bit up to go a little bit deeper up into it. Okay, we're back over at the clamp. I actually ended up taking 3 passes through that because I really wanted to go pretty deep with that cut. So you can easily, if I set it down here, you can see now if it's sitting on a countertop, you can easily get your finger underneath here and pick this thing up. The next thing we need to do is round over all of these edges. And now all the sides are rounded over. Now it's just going back and doing a lot of sanding to really clean it up as much as we can. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm not going to show you all that. It would be bored out of your mind. You know, building this stuff for any of these projects is not the difficult. Well, none of it's really difficult. I guess you do it, but the time-consuming part always is in the sanding. Always. Essentially, the cutting board is done. Other than putting the mineral oil on it. All right, so I got it all sanded down. The last thing we need to do is add some mineral oil to it. And what we'll end up doing is putting several layers on. I'll put some on, let it sit for a few days, put some on, let it sit. I'll continue to do that for several days on both sides to make sure we get plenty of oil absorbed in there. That's what's going to protect the board when you do have to rinse it off and wash it. Otherwise it'll crack and dry. But look at that tiger maple. All that nice. It looks rough, it's smooth. It's the design of the wood and the bird's eye maple. Bird's eye didn't pop as much as I'd like, but it's still very pretty. All right, so we got the cutting board made, and now we're gonna do one more thing, and we're gonna make a pen. So we're selecting some wood, selecting the pen kits, and then we'll go over to the lathe there, turn the wood down. We'll show a little bit of that.
He does.
Tracy doesn't.
don't
Tracy doesn't talk much on the videos, almost ever. So these are all the components for the pen. This is the pen blank. So the first thing we need to do is just lay these on here and make a mark a little bit longer than the brass blank. But before you cut, you want to put a line across this so you match this back up when you put the pen together, so the grain is matched up. So we're going to cut this off, cut this in half, and then drill these out. And then we'll get back and show you what we got. All right, so we drilled the holes. We scuffed up the cylinder, glued them with CA glue. Then we used the activator so it would dry immediately. And you can see there's my 2 pencil marks. And we put it on the lathe. We want to put it on the lathe this way. So again, the grain will match up nice. Before we go to lathe, actually, we got to square up the ends. So I use the squaring tool to... It has a core piece that goes in, and then it brings it down to the brass. You just take your time. So now that's going to be the length of our pen. Everything else we're going to carve away. We have it all in the pen mandrel with the spaces appropriate for the pen size we're making. And we have the lines on the pen blanks matched up. So when we carve this down and put it together, the grain on this will match properly. All right, so you can see I got it down. So it's pretty well even with the spacers, and that will mean when you put the pen together, it lines up with the components of the pen. I'm going to go ahead now and put some thin CA glue on this, and then we'll sand that CA glue, and hopefully we can get a glossy look to this so it looks nice and shiny. So I did switch to another wood. It turned out I didn't really care for the look of that other wood, so I went with some tiger maple here. And I pulled it off the lathe in order because now your marks are gone. So you want to keep it in this order. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and start assembling. So these are the components. What I'm going to do is press each one of these components in one by one. And again, you've got to remember the orientation you had this. So you don't want to mess that up. Some grains, it'll really show up. Take our time, bring it down, and we want to make sure this stays nice and straight as we just slowly press it in. Key here is going slow. If you go too fast and it kinks too much sideways, it'll just split this wood. This is your turning mechanism that lowers the pen down when you want to have the ink come out. And you're just going to press it in past this brass up to that little notch. And this is something you have to adjust. And we'll stop right there. And this is the top. And I put the cap through the pocket holder, and then we'll go ahead and press that on like so. Now I can move back over here. And you take your ink, Slide it in here, screw it in position, put your spacer on, and then put your top on. You just want to make sure when it's turned out, nothing is showing, and then when you open it up, there's your pen. And there you have it. The two projects I want to make are complete. Cutting board and a pen. Why do we do this? Well, you know, as you go through life, like this channel, Life the Wild Ride, you run across people that sometimes play a significant role, even if it's for a small portion, like in this particular case, a small portion of time each year. This person is someone we met 4, 5, 6 years ago, something like that. He's the CXO, which is the Chief Excitement Officer. His name is Billy O at Cove Haven Resorts. He just does a fantastic job of making sure we and every other guest have a great time. He probably, maybe he knows, I don't, maybe he doesn't know how much he affects people's lives, even if it's, like I said, for a small portion. Anybody's been following this channel for any length of time know the stuff that our family has dealt with over the past just 2 years, how many deaths we had in the family and other stressful events. So when you go on vacation, you go to get away from all that in your regular daily life and you want to have a good time. And Billy O really helps make that happen. And we really can't thank him enough. When you say some of the games and activities he plays are really, you know, they're just to have fun. They just, sometimes they're just kids games, but it doesn't matter. That's the whole point. The point is to go, get away from your daily life and have a great time. And so when you run into these people, as however small a portion of time that they play a role in your life, if it's that significant, then, you know, maybe it's a good idea to take a minute to say thank you. And that's what we want to do for Billy O. Now, you don't have to make something. Fortunate, I'm able to do this stuff, or you don't have to buy anything. You can just say thank you, and that's really what this is about. But I did want to take the time, Trace and I, to make a nice cutting board and a pen. We don't even know if you cook or not, Billy O. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But you got a nice cutting board coming your way. Handmade, they're all different, none of them are the same. Same with the pen. So if you don't cook, I'm sure you write stuff. So that's coming your way. So we just want to take this time to really say thank you for someone that plays a very big part in our life for vacation time, even if it is just a small time frame. Now, we don't know Billy O's personal life. He really doesn't know our personal life, and that's not the point of the video. The point is, when we're there, he makes sure we have a great time, and we forget about our life back here at home. And we just want to really say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Anything you want to add?
No, I don't talk much.
No, you don't. Anyway, thank you very much, Billy O. We really do appreciate you. Thank you for watching the video. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. And remember, life is a wild ride. Take a minute, think about something in your life that's important, and let them know that you really appreciate it, and thank them. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.